trying to do like a 2-foot skank and it is not dropping. I never felt so white in my life.
Amongst the Samburu tribes of northern Kenya, where the desert merges with the foothills of Mount Kenya, women have been living under a harsh patriarchal system for as long as they can remember. Female genital mutilation has been one of the most important rituals amongst the Samburu for generations. Once circumcised, a girl can be given away in an arranged marriage to start her own family. This practice has seen girls as young as 12 get married to men old enough to be their grandfathers. But this year, Obama's visit to Kenya put women's rights at the forefront of national dialogue.
Around the world, there is a tradition of repressing women, treating women and girls as second-class citizens. Those are bad traditions. They need to change. There's no reason that young girls should suffer genital mutilation. There's no place in civilized society for the early or forced marriage of children. These traditions may date back centuries. They have no place in the 21st century.
While the world has just taken note, 25 years ago, a group of fed-up women led an exodus and took matters into their own hands to free themselves and started a movement in the Samburu region, creating the first village where no men were allowed. The establishment of Umoja was an inspiration to many women in neighbouring villages who have risen up to take control of their local governments. So we travelled to Kenya to road trip through the Samburu district and see what life is like in a matriarchal society.
We are on our way to the Umoja village, which is an all-female village which started in 1990 by a woman called Rebecca.
Rebecca Lola Soli is the matriarch of the Umoja Women's Village and an advocate for women's rights. Growing up as a member of the Samburu tribe, she married at the age of 18 and began speaking up about helping women who were victims of rape by British soldiers training near her home. Local men, angered by her vocalism, beat her until she was hospitalised. When her husband did not protest the beatings, she left him, and along with several other women who were survivors of violence, established the Women's Village of Umoja. What was once solely a safe haven for women has now become a globally known example of a successful matriarchy. The internet has put Umoja firmly on the map. And now people travel far and wide to come and see how the land of no men thrives in the region of Samburu.
I think that was our welcome, and what a welcome! Just get a cup of tea at my house, that's it. So far it's super nice, everything seems really idyllic. Did you see the welcome though? Oh my gosh. Every single one can sing as well. Every single one of them ladies can sing. So we're about to have a sit-down chat with Rebecca, and hopefully she's going to explain to me how Umoja came to be, the pros and cons of living in an all-female society, and just shed some light what life is like here in Umoja village. Hi, Rebecca.
That's how the house look like.
Ah, nice.
This is now the big bedroom. That's the small bedroom. It's the kitchen. And this is our sitting room.
Amazing. It smells so good. And to the women do all the renovations and
Yes.
build all the houses.
Build all the houses. Let me just tell you how we started. As a Samburu woman, you have no right. If the husband wants to kill you, he have a right to kill you anytime. Because you are like a property. And in the Samburu culture, have you ever heard of a woman village? So they say we have to destroy this village. We say we are not going to move. Let them kill us and make history of killing all of the women in this village. We decided to do small business, selling our jewelry on the road. When tourists are passing, we welcome them and they buy our things when we are here. When we started selling, we found the men beat the women and they take away the money.
Do you think the men felt threatened?
by
they do.
women being able to make their own money.
They do.
With the ability to generate income, the women of Umoja have found independence.
So every morning we have to come and display our things. This is what we depend on.
Yeah.
This is our living.
Which one did you make? Really? It's nice. This is amazing. I read that you met Hillary Clinton.
Yes, I met her.
What was
She's
it
a
like?
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Besties.
Because Samburu women, we are following her footsteps to be more strong as women. We have said, what can we do with this money? So we decided to start a school.
I've never had such a spring in my step about going to school, Rebecca.
Sasa, uko tu peke yako?
Hey.
Hayuko na wangapi? It's not only from Umoja, it's for all over, even from the villages, the men's villages. We decided to build a school because we have seen education is very important.
Yeah.
And we don't want our children to be like us. We want them to have light in their life, to have good education, and to know what's going on in this world.
Women in Umoja are still having children, and sons are welcome as long as they are willing to follow the village rules and do not try to dominate the women. Although no grown men are allowed to live in Umoja, the women are still open to relationships and often rendezvous with boyfriends outside the village.
You were saying in the beginning that you was having to deal with a lot of sort of problems from the men in the surrounding villages, just kind of being jealous little bitches, basically, about your success.
We still have that problem, but it's not as big as before. They say I'm bringing a bad culture to them, but I know one day, one time, they will not cut these girls again.
Angry husbands occasionally come to Umoja searching for their wives. The women of the village stay up all night in shifts to protect each other. The veteran women live side by side with the younger refugees who have recently fled to Umoja to escape the cultural rituals still prevalent in their communities.
And how do you feel about what Rebecca teaches at Umoja? Do you want to find a husband one day and have kids? Me neither.
So whilst you might think that Umoja's demographic would mainly be older women, it is also home to many young women who have sworn off men completely.
So it doesn't seem like there's an awful lot to do to pass the time in Umoja village, but the huts that the ladies make need constant maintenance. So I'm about to go and literally get my hands dirty in cow shit. Some chicks doing DIY. Can I? Yeah. And I'm like, that's my work, just like, it's like clay basically, but warm. Imagine what hot cow shit feels like. We come, we sing, we bought beads, and we're out. Thanks, ladies. Yeah. What a wicked way to say, get out my house, love, we've had enough. I'm filled with joy and love and a little bit of cow dung.
Umoja has now become an accepted part of the Samburu landscape, but not everyone is happy about it. By providing a safe haven for local women, it has also become a threat to some local men. So, on my second day in the district, I went to meet a man nearby whose wife had rejected him to live in the village.
So you think that if Emoja didn't exist, your wife would still be with you?
Jaga meti ya chomba pi, dalam parang kosana pakai, itu tak cukunya, nana tak yang nguri nama. Alah pun apa jadi na juga cuma na aja, apa itu untuk munu, na dia baru guru ni pun ada karun, nanti dua jam maju, marnu gua nanti kayak saya menganguri.
Oh, well, that's good to hear for you. All is not lost. You can get another wife. Are you angry that your wife left you?
Saya bapi saya kayak bapi nak apa? Macam mana tangkar ke? Yunai yang nonguru. Amunguru na itu yang apa? Na nyaman anguru nggak kan mesti lewa. Ni nana ko jadi macam na anguru na itu yang.
Well, I guess haters are gonna hate no matter what.
Yesterday we went to go and visit Emoja, an all-female village where no men are allowed. Since Emoja, similar villages have appeared. Men are allowed in these villages, but women still have the overriding say. What I'm hoping is that it's also a safe haven for the submissive men of Kenya. Just to be clear, we've got Rebecca's blessing because these villages are kind of the trickle down from Emoja, and so we can't do any of this without her say-so.
As the leader of Emoja, Rebecca dictates who is allowed in and out of the wider community.
Thank you. I think this was the ceremony. We just drank some goat milk. It's delicious. Recommend it. And we're going to go and see what's going on. So a big part of how these villages survive is on tourism, which means when you come, you better buy some beads. Such a shame. So many beads, so many beads. As you can see, another tourist truck has come and we've been upstaged by some Germans. Fair enough, they're buying beads. We're going to speak with the chair lady of Nachami. Oh, I'm good, thank you. There's probably enough goat's milk for a lifetime. Yeah? Okay. Got my bead stem, got my goat's milk, got my mat. At Emoja, there's no men at all. You have men here. Can you tell me what role the men have if you're the chair lady?
So
the husbands are here, but who has the overriding say?
Men who are allowed to live among the women here must reject the traditional Samburu principles and agree to a new way of thinking. It was time to speak to an enlightened man who chose to live in Nashami.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Michelle.
I'm Ebo.
Ebo, nice to meet you, Ebo.
Yeah.
And do you live here?
Yeah, I live here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you got a wife?
Yeah. I'll only marry one wife. Mainly because if you marry 4 wives, you'll have 4 problems. Yeah. I don't want me to be more greater than her, you know?
Yeah.
We want just to do the same. In the work, we'll work the same.
It's quite a modern way of thinking, right?
Yeah.
Quite a modern man, Ibo. It's true.
Yeah.
So we need trailblazers like you,
Yes,
guys
yes.
like you out there, letting other guys know, like, hey, this makes sense, man.
Yeah.
What Nashami showed me is that the message of equality is spreading to younger generations.
You know the meaning of Nashami?
No, tell me. Love.
Yeah, so we love each other.
Oh yeah, we go. Oh yeah, we go.
have it. Proof that men and women can be equal. Unfortunately, it's all the way in bloody Africa, though. See you later. Mwah, mwah, mwah. That was really fun, and I'm just now feeling the effects of drinking hot goat's milk in the hot sun and being in a truck with no suspension. I feel like I'm just gonna shit out a log of cheese later.
With the network of matriarchal villages growing, many men in the Samburu tribes are discovering female empowerment for the first time, which scares most of them. Right outside Nashami, I stopped to talk to two local men about their views on the changing culture. In Samburu custom, the tribes are run by a collective of male elders who rule with complete authority. First, I wanted to speak with a man from a traditional Samburu society to understand the nature of change in the region.
What are your views on men who live in villages where women have the overriding say?
Ona hiyo si mzuri. Hata hiyo watu hiyo wanawake naishi hapo hiyo na nini yani ile mishindwa bwana yake ndio anaosa kutoroka kuenda pande hiyo. Maneno kama hiyo kukataa au bwana nawacha kwa ajili kisha ngumu.
Do you think that you can keep tradition and have some equality?
Madam, kwa ajili sasa kutoka zamani wakati zinasaliwa sisi wanaume tu ndio wanaongoza. Sasa mimi hawezi kubali mwanamke yangu murishe mimi.
What do you think about women in Umoja and surrounding villages making their own money?
Ile naosa kwa anapata shida na hakuna mtu anasaidia. Kwa ajili naosa kupigwa na mtu mwingine au nini na anapata shida na wanaume tu ndio kufua ya nini ya bomba.
Do you think a society can only work if there's men there?
Wanaume ndio wanaokoa. Wanawake hakuna siku ya kuokoa. Wapita.
We're about to meet a man who's part of a matriarchal society. We've had to meet him here in the middle of nowhere because he doesn't want the women to find out. But apparently he says the truth must be told. So we're going to get to find out how he thinks that this has affected tradition. Can you tell me what life is like living in an all-female village?
Lazima kila kitu uwe sawa.
Every village I've been to and all the women I've spoken to, all of them across the board agree that they would like female circumcision to stop.
Samburu inaenda kweli hawezi isha. Sitaki kudanganya kwa sababu inaenda na kwa sababu sema mambo kusemekana wasichana hapa natayarishwa. Kuna wakati tuseme sasa mimi bibi yangu ametayarishwa. Siwezi kusema uongo. Hata madada zangu kwa sababu hii anasoma. Nilikuwa najua sasa siwezi kubali tayarishwa. Siwezi kubali kwa sababu mimi naelewa kwa nini. Nilikuwa wale sasa wanaishi mpali ya matown hao wataendelea. Nilikuwa sasa wale wanaishi nilikuwa ni kila kitu ni pole pole. Nilikuwa naona kama itakuja kusha tu. Kwa sababu sioni faida.
Although female genital mutilation is banned in the country, over 80% of Samburu brides still undergo the procedure. As villages such as Umoja start to outlaw this practice, hope of eradicating female circumcision spreads throughout northern Kenya. On our third day, we hope to get more insight on the matter.
This is Sulpa village, which seems to be part of the matriarchal wave that has sprung from Umoja. It's a pretty nice way to be greeted. Okay, thanks. What is it?
We are very happy to see you, and you are most welcome to our village.
Marianne, the chair lady here, has created a matriarchal village similar to Nashami, except here the gender roles are differentiated. The men carry out the physical labor while the women make the rules.
I started from Umoja,
Right.
and then I stayed in Umoja for almost 4 years, and then I shifted to this place. Long days, we don't have rights. So if the men say you have to do this, we have to follow them. But nowadays, the women, they have their own right because they can make their things and they have their own money.
Yeah.
And they can say you don't want women to get circumcised. And they can say that our daughters must go to schools.
How do the men feel who live here that they're not in the traditional role for a man?
Actually, they feel bad. They feel bad when we have that, our right. They think that we are losing their traditional.
What is it that you think that bothers men the most? Do you think it's that they're losing their tradition as in that you guys have freedom of speech? Or do you think it's the tradition of female circumcision? Or do you think it's the fact that you guys have your own money?
Circumcisions.
From what I know, that it's hard to get married if you're not circumcised as a woman. But I suppose you don't need to get married if you have your own money.
Yeah, most of the ladies nowadays, they don't like to get married. They go to school and they work and they get money and they are not circumcised. If you are not circumcised and you are Samburu, nobody can marry you. So nowadays, they don't bother about marriage.
Do you think that in the future, men will want an educated woman who makes her own money?
I don't think so.
Are you aware that the world is fascinated with the story of Umoja and the surrounding villages?
No.
What you guys are doing here is something that most of us haven't seen before. And I think you're doing a great job of it, and you guys are doing it with style and grace and beautiful beads. If you was a young woman today, you're 18 years old, would you get married?
No.
No?
No, definitely no.
Every woman I've asked, I'm like, would you get married? They're like, nah. Really?
Yeah, we don't give men power, because if we give them that chance, they will spoil.
Right.
Yeah.
Men always fuck it up, don't they? So Marianne was just explaining to me that in this village, a lot of the men do just the manpower things, basically, like going to get water and letting the goats out in the morning and fixing a fence and stuff.
How do you enjoy this place?
I loved it. I had such a nice time. I've never seen anything like this before, you know, like where women run things. We're here at our final matriarchal village called Nagida. I'm hoping that this time I get some suspect liquid flicked on my face instead of having to drink goat's milk again. I see the goat's milk, man. I mean, I like it's, but... A show-a-leng. A show-a-leng. A show-a-leng. Right. Yes. A show-a-leng. A show-a-leng. 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 A show-a-leng. A show-a-leng. A show-a-leng. Everyone. Can I just say that was my kind of welcome? Short, sweet, bit of goat's milk on the forehead, bang that out nice and quick, we're done. I couldn't leave Samburu without asking these ladies one last burning question. I wanted to ask, because I've been travelling to all these different villages, I have the worst periods and they last for like 8 days. Is there like 1 week where everyone's like, it's coming, my period's coming?
Sometimes kuna tu wenye wasichana wanaonanga the same day.
What do you do out here when you have your period? Do you use sanitary towels, and then where would you, like, how do you dispose of them?
Tunatumia nini? Kuna semina tulionyeshwa unagunja nini nguo hivi, alafu naweka kitambaa hivi, kanguo alafu nachona design hiyo nini, hiyo pads, alafu tunafaa.
Thank you so much for telling me, because I've been wondering the whole time I'm here. I'm like, what would I do out here if I came on my period?
Rebecca's influence on women in the Samburu region has created a trickle-down effect of woman power. Fueled by the matriarchal uprising, long-standing traditions that threaten the women of Kenya are being challenged. With access to education and their own income, many Samburu women are taking the future into their own hands for the first time in history.
When they call us women, it's like a dirty name. We walk and we talk and we laugh. Let us show them that we are happy. And we have to be proud we are women.